All right, here we go. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Hot
Yes. Very hot.
And humid.
and humid, yes.
Not my favorite.
With you on that one.
I just came from the lake. I had to go jump in a lake before the finish line, so I've got a little damp hair feeling. I'm feeling cooled down in my core temperature. The lake water was pretty perfect. Felt refreshing, but just like I could have stayed in for hours.
How close is the lake to the shop?
So we have lots of lakes around here in the Mid-Coast. We have so much water, so many options for swimming. So the shop is like right next to the shop, there is a river that runs like right by. There's that, sometimes we post pictures of the little bridge, and the river is Megunticook River. And so Megunticook River is fed from Megunticook Lake, and Megunticook Lake is a pretty like long lake, kind of fingery, big. There's a big, what do we call it? Peninsula, yes, that kind of comes right down. Anyway, so that lake is probably the closest lake to the goat, and it's also about the closest lake to me geographically. Like as a crow flies, if I could just have lake access, it would be down the hill, across the road, down the hill, and then there's lake. But I have some friends that have a beautiful dock, and so I went and swam with them, which was super fun. Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
We also have a little pond pretty nearby. So yeah, lots of choices for swimmies. Of course, the ocean as well. Well, welcome. We've got Mona, Ginny. How is everybody?
Hot. Very, very hot.
And that's been the theme so far. We've got hot.
God, Jersey, kill me.
Mhm. I was, just really thinking about all of staying, like you said to me earlier, stay inside with the AC and knits. That's what we feel like doing.
If you have AC, that's great, but when you don't, it's brutal.
Yeah. I'm with you, Gwen.
Knitting isn't. Yeah, knitting's not even on the agenda with that one.
Yeah. We just had the electricians all day because we kept blowing circuits with all the air conditioners on.
Oh my gosh.
So it's all better. It's all better.
Good.
Yay, electricians.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Colorado, and we're set to have a real heat streak, and Denver's going to be really hot. Unfortunately, we're south of Denver and a little higher elevation, so it won't be as bad. But still, it's going to be warm, and we don't have air conditioning. I've been here since the 90s, and it's gotten warmer every year, more, high 90s than it was before. So I'm new to I'm new to I took this Skunic sweater class, and that's one of my unfinished projects that's going on the list. But I am new to Google whatever this is, so
Well, we're trying it out, and we've got some other newbies too. And I was just saying, like, the controls, if you're on a computer, the controls are sort of along the bottom of the screen. So you can see there's a little microphone, there's your video camera option. If you want to enter full screen with it, you can click on the 3 dots, and there's a full screen option there.
Okay. So I just figured out you have to, like, if you want to mute your mic, you have to go to the bottom. You can't
Right.
click on the little icon that shows up in your picture. So,
So if you hover over your picture, can you mute yourself? Because if I hover over my own picture, I feel like I saw a way to do it. Maybe it's just for me because I'm the host.
yeah, I don't see that that's an option for me.
Okay. Got
But
it.
if someone notices that, let me know.
Well, we're being techno adventurous. I was saying that, you know, we have the Google for the professional account, and we thought, well, we'd try it. Finish along tends to be a little less big than the knit along, and I was like, I bet our finish along group would be like good. We could test it, see what the video quality is like, and if we like it. But I would just like to say, so Mona, it's nice to see you face to face, and welcome. We're happy you're here. I haven't met you on Zoom before, but we've had some emails, and Mona was supposed to be on the sailing cruise, and right, yep. And Ginny, if you see Ginny, Mona, Ginny was one of the sailors with us. So
Yay.
friends didn't get to meet in real life, but here we are on Zoom together. But we missed having you, Mona, and
Well, if you have one next year, I'm going to give it a go again. So, Jenny, did you have like a wonderful time?
Of course. I mean, it was my second time on the riggin. My husband and I were on it last year for the Windjammer Festival in Camden. And I have been following this boat for years because I picked up a flyer at Vogue Knitting Live in New York one year that was about sailing, knitting cruises. And so I started following the riggin, which is how I got on it last year. And when I saw this, I was like, looked at my husband, I was like, and he's like, have fun. Have fun. It was, there were two husbands on the cruise, right?
I'll be darned.
Yep, there were two husbands on the cruise, really great guys, one of whom attempted knitting, right?
Well, good for him.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm trying to think, did Brian, was she doing like, or was that Yolanda was, I think it was Yolanda.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. The perennial swatch knitter, like a swashbuckler. She was a swashbuckler.
A swatchbuckler. That's
A
right.
swashbuckler.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw my cat sneak his head around. I didn't go because of, I don't know if anybody is a pet lover or has cats, but he's mature and his kidneys are starting to go. So I'm giving him sub-Q fluids at home. And I couldn't leave him. I just want to have as many days as possible with him. So
Understand.
yeah, that's
Yep.
it. So
Mhm.
anyways, on a more positive note, did you happen to see puffins on your trip?
We did not see puffins on our
Okay.
trip. We saw some seals. We saw some seals bobbing their little heads out in the mornings, particularly, and also fish just splashing around a lot in the mornings. There must be like jumping fish, little fish channels or something like that.
And
Yeah.
birds dive bombing for the fish.
Yes. Yep.
Any whales?
Well, no whales. I think somebody did spot a porpoise.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing whales down in Perkins Cove area.
Well, we definitely, I mean, it was, I think maybe around Father's Day, there were some sightings locally. I was talking to one of the people that runs the day sailor out of Camden, and she said she and her family took her husband out for a Father's Day cruise, and they saw a whale. So it was wild, not usual. Oh, there's the kitty.
That's a fluff ball.
Yeah, thank you. He's kind of real bony underneath the fluff. So
How old is he?
17-ish.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Well,
Oh.
Mona, I'm a little familiar with this because my in-laws kitty, he he was 20, and
Oh.
they were kind of like on a kitty hospice situation for a few months with him, and they were doing the subcutaneous fluids, and they were taking such good care of him. But just, it's just awful to have to let go of one of these companions, and we want to do all the things that we can for them. So
Yes.
I feel for you.
Yeah. Anyways, so maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. So, but yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I'm the mommy, and I'm the one that does the Clifford. My husband helps me hold Gary, but I have to do the needle poking. I don't like it. I've done it about. It's just hard. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just like uncomfortable.
Mhm.
But that's it. So, okay. Well, if I come
Mhm.
next year and any of you are there, I'm going to take a side trip down to, is it Rockland?
That's what we
And that's
sail
where
out.
yep, that's where
Oh,
we
no.
sail out
Okay.
of.
Then
Mhm.
I'm thinking south of there are tours to see puffins and whale watching trips.
Mhm.
I can't think of the town right now because I've never been to Maine, but
Mhm.
I was going to do a side trip there and take go around their rock island or egg island to see
Mhm.
puffins. So I didn't know if I was more excited about the bird watching or the knitting, but nonetheless, there's always next year. So, okay, I'll stop talking.
No, it's great. Well, does anybody want to give us a little progress update?
I am crocheting. If anybody's ever seen a hexagon granny square jacket.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah, it's a jacket.
Yeah.
I did one for myself, and during New Jersey has a wool walk in April, and all the stores participate. And my sister-in-law has been looking at this jacket in the window of a shop. I love it. I love it. I love it. I said to her, Kathy, do it. And so she bought all the yarn. And the next day called me and said, yeah, no, I don't like the yarn. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. It's yours. I was like, okay. So I am making it for her. So this is there. You make two. This is Earth, URTH. It's their fingering weight yarn.
Mm.
It's a 6-sided triangle or granny square. Nope, that's not right. Let me see
Mhm.
if I can get it the right way. And the way you fold it, when it's done, it becomes
Oh, clever.
Okay.
front and the sleeve.
That's
I
clever.
love that.
So I've been working both at the same time to kind of keep my tension even. Nope, that's not right. Yeah, so that's the other one. Pretty.
Cool.
And then you will put them together in the back. And then the one I made, you add to the sleeve and you add to the bottom.
Mm.
Her 65th birthday is in October. So there's that.
Well,
Then also my Sea Haven.
oh yes. Awesome.
Getting
Nice.
there. It's
Love
getting
the
there.
color.
I was going to ask, Iris, did anybody in the knit along, did they do the decreases when they did a long sleeve sweater?
Like the waist shaping or whatever.
Yes.
I know of one person that did the waist shaping.
Teresa, did you do it? You did I've been watching the videos.
I did waist shaping on mine. Yes. I did it on mine. Mine was not a long sleeve one though. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I did the waist shaping.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I did it. So we'll see how it goes.
I like the
And-
way it fit because I have an anchor tee that I did that there's no waist shaping to it. And I like the way that fits too, but I like that this has a little more of a streamlined look.
That's what I was hoping. I didn't want to
Yeah.
look too boxy because this is wool. And
Yeah.
it's I think the pattern is for DK and this is I think a worsted, or I think it's a worsted or a sport or whatever. I did
Mhm.
get gauge. But yeah, so that's
Nice.
I'm trying to think.
I have to say something very funny, which is that I just got a text from Yolanda, who was also on the cruise. Do you know what her question was? I don't think she's doing the finish line, but she just texted me this question. Did you shape your Sea Haven sweater or not?
See? There you go. There you
Question
go.
of the day.
And
Wow, that is amazing.
then so the third one, and so I'm trying to do 2 days of one project, 2 days of another project, 2 days of another. And on the 7th day, she rested. This is what
I
I
like
call
that.
my eternity sweater because I bought this yarn in 2021. This is the pattern. It's I don't know if you can
Oh.
it's
Yeah.
Sandus yarn. Is that how you say it?
Mhm.
And I really fell in love with it. And it was a new knitting store. And so of course I went and spent, $120. And it was translated from from Swedish, I think. And so it came out way too long because I did way too many repeats. So last week I took it all apart.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Here are the arms. I
Bless
mean,
you.
this was completely finished.
Wow.
Here's the, and I'm gonna try once again to Kitchener.
Oh.
This,
Oh, 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 oh.
Oh,
to
wow.
this.
Oh, my gosh, you're a brave woman.
Indeed.
I have so many little balls of yarn because I used
Ah,
like this was the first time I took it apart. This was that's how much
Frog,
wasted
frog,
yarn.
frog.
And then I just weighed the yarn when I ripped it out that can't be saved, and that I just calculated came out to 75 yards, which really kind of it's a half a skein.
Yeah, not too bad.
So yeah.
Girl.
So with the weather we're having in New Jersey, crochet is very good today. No more wool sweaters on the lap.
You know.
Ginny, where are you in New Jersey?
I'm in Maplewood, which is west of Newark.
Okay.
Newark Airport by about 14 miles.
Okay.
So,
My husband's from Bound Brook. So
so that's like
little-
south.
yep.
He's more like middle of the state.
central
And a
area.
little-
Yeah.
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 Like Bridgewater, Bound Brook.
Yep.
Bound Brook always floods.
Yes.
There's big storms.
And it's always hot. Hot and humid is the norm down there.
Yeah.
So,
I grew up on the South Shore of Long Island, like on a town that was on the Great South Bay.
yeah.
So being 14 miles inland is not, yeah. I've only been doing this for 41 years, but it's like still wishing I was in Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we do for love.
Yes. Yes.
So that's my report.
well, I really like the report, and I really like the idea that you're like on a 2 days on, 2 days on. I like that. That's very cool. So I might have to share that in a newsletter as a possible approach for finish along projects.
Well, the
I was
little
gonna go
paperwork
ahead.
sent along, like that you could make it said like, what's your plan for finishing the project? So that was like, oh, I guess I should make a plan.
It
love
doesn't
that
mess
plan.
with your head. It doesn't mess with your head having to get back into patterns after just 2 days.
No, it's actually kind of nice, because you can like the blue and white, the eternity sweater. I was like obsessing about it by like the end of the second day. And I was just like, I got to put it down. I got to walk away. I got to walk away.
I like that.
Okay.
Sometimes you do need a break from them after so much time, or sometimes very little time.
Yeah.
I found that to be true.
There was a woman I used to follow when I was sewing. Had business doing draperies and, home furnishings. And she used to say, when you make your second mistake, put down the scissors and step away.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. But we usually go, no, I can get this. I can get this. and make 5 more mistakes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, my.
Well, my stepmom was on the cruise with us, and so Ginny, you met my stepmom Susan, and she's the person who taught me how to knit so many years ago, and and now she likes to say, well, now the student has become the teacher. It's really sweet. But she's a real night owl, and I am like an early like riser. So sometimes I'll wake up in the morning, it's like 5:30 or whatever, and I'm looking at my text and I can see that she's texting me like a knitting question at like 9:40. And I'm like, oh, I know how this is gonna go. And so I think I may have possibly encouraged her that like knitting too late sometimes ends up with results that we have to end up fixing in the morning. So,
yes.
you know, sometimes the conversation will be like, well, were you knitting a little later in the evening? Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I can just
Oh,
do that
yeah.
bit just before I go back. Just get that last bit done. And then you
yeah.
a lot of it.
Yeah.
My sister,
Yeah.
my girlfriend, and I rate patterns by whether or not it's wine worthy.
Mm.
Sounds good to me.
I like that.
You know, can I have a glass of wine and do this, or do you have to concentrate too much?
And I honestly feel like it's that, you know, everybody here knows that I'm definitely for multiple projects, but I definitely need some for social times. Like if I'm at the knit along in the shop, or the finish along in the shop, like I need something that I can put down, pick up if I'm going to help somebody, whatever. And also just there's times I feel like having multiple different needle sizes to work with also feels like it's not stressing my hands as much. So yeah. Anybody else have some progress to share on what you're working on? I see Mary Ellen. Have you picked back up your Christmas sock? Oh, let's see. I'll pin you while you unmute. Down at the bottom. Oh, how about if I unmute?
Okay,
Oh, there
I
you go.
got it.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm on the second one.
Yay!
So I'm almost done.
Nice.
Bravo.
This is my mindless knitting, but I've been working on my hat. This is
Wow.
Wow.
Pretty.
Beautiful.
Oh,
so
Good job.
it gets
Oh,
it's
it's
folded
gorgeous.
up there. But I'm almost done. I'll be done the next time. I have about 10
Oh.
rows. I'm doing the decreases.
Nice.
This was a kit, Susan B. Anderson.
Oh,
But the one thing, and I left my pattern downstairs, the way the pattern is, the dark, it's just black and white, but the black on the pattern is the white for me. So when I look at it, it's like my brain.
I understand that one.
So that it's just making it take longer.
Bummer.
I
Wow.
know, but I wanted it like this. I
Yeah.
wanted the pink on the darker pink.
Yep, I like it.
So
The way it contrasts. It's pretty.
yeah.
Pretty.
Mhm.
So I'm happy with it.
You should
So
be.
It'll be done next time.
It's really, really gorgeous. And I love that, you know,
really
you had this as your like treat knitting, right? It was kind of your,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
it looks like
Well,
you have
thank you.
beautiful tension.
Have what?
Looks like
Beautiful tension to your stitches. Like they look so even.
Well, you know, I'm actually doing this on Magic Loop. A lot of people will not do that with color work, but I don't like. I didn't want to use double points, so I just did it, and it's fine.
rock
I mean, I'm
on.
careful. I'm careful when I get to the split, you know, and I move it over so it's not like a gap. But I think I'd go with it. I make all my hats now on Magic Loop.
Nice.
Love it.
Mary
Really
Ellen,
looks good.
that is a no wine pattern by my category.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely not.
No TV either.
You know, I think there's something about, you know, those patterns that demand our attention though. I mean, like that is part of the fun. And I think that it's interesting.
It's addictive.
It's addictive. There's something about color work that I enjoy where it's almost like you're reading the map. The pattern becomes your map. And then once you're oriented to the map, and then you can look at, okay, I'm on this row and I should like, yep, that's a purl, you know, or that's I've got 3 in a row in this one. Am I in the right track? And you're just like constantly like checking and rechecking your location in relationship to the other things happening, which is kind of a cool way that your brain can get excited, I think.
And you also have little incremental finishings while you're doing it. You know, like I finished that section, I can move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Good points.
Yeah.
Well, I'll report on my little progress. Very little progress. I had grandchildren and great grandchildren here for the week of 4th of July, so I didn't get much knitting done between times, but I got one sock finished.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's so pretty.
I just turned the heel. I'm turning the heel on the second one, so we're getting there.
Yeah.
And it's so soft.
Very good. Very nice.
This is that Meridian by Seven Sisters in that Xenia color.
Mm-hmm.
I bought that at the last sale.
Did you?
Nice.
It
The
just feels
fingering.
so good. I can't wait to get to wear them. So anyway, that's as much as I've done.
Well, that's pretty great, especially for having, you know, the grandkids and all the
man, it was
holiday
bedlam.
festivities. How
They
old
were
are your
everywhere.
How
There was
old
no
are they?
concentration for knitting at all. Yeah.
I was gonna say about the Meridian that I love, like, so we have Meridian by Seven Sisters and On the Round, Nimble Sock, you know, Indie Dyers. We love them. I love both of them. Nimble Sock is a little bit heavier, but really, really soft, and it's plied, so that can be kind of nice if you've got some fancy stitch work or something. So I think it's 2-ply. But the Meridian, and one of the things about Meridian, which I really like, is that it's soft in your hands. When you're knitting with it, it feels good. And then I also find it fairly hard wearing. Like my Meridian socks, I don't have really any felting on them, and I've worn them quite a bit. And so it's kind of interesting just to, because I think there's some sock yarns that, you know, they're labeled as kind of like these are, you know, higher level nylon or something, but they don't feel great when you're knitting them. So I think somehow the Meridian blend or yarn base really is balanced nicely for both nice experience knitting and wearing. And it is a little thinner too.
I'm looking forward to this because, like you say, it has great stitch definition, and the yarn itself is pretty tight. There's no fuzzing, there's no pilling, so it's gonna hold its integrity, I think, through wearing socks. I've had some socks that pill so bad that you just almost have to take a shaver to them, so I kind of got rid of those. And I like the yarns that hold the definition and are warm and soft.
Agreed. Great. Thanks
Anyway,
for
that's
that.
what I'm doing so far. Kind of slow.
Well, I bet you'll have that off the needles by the next time we see you.
I think so.
Well, I have an update.
Great.
I haven't made any of the knit along, finish alongs yet, so that's why I have a lot done. I finished my second soul warmer cowl.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty.
That's pretty.
It needed the ends finished, you know, like I finished it, I don't know, middle of May, but I left the ends to go because I started something else. You know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
I had this vest I had made, and I had made the wrong size. So I had to do it, and I made the next one up. So
Great.
yeah, when I was talking to Gwen earlier today, I said by the time I got to the back, the last half of the back on this, I was like, I need to be done because I already made it once.
Yes. I love that vest. That vest pattern has such nice detailing. I remember you showing it before with that along the, yeah.
And it
Really
you know,
pretty.
and then the second time around, since I kind of knew how it went, it did go a little bit faster. I think that's normal though. And then the one I'm really happy about is the top. My lace top.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Pretty.
Wow. Very nice.
Really good job.
So that one was, I had to take that one out and start over again because it was the wrong size too.
Oh, shoot. So
And
what did you
what
learn
you-
from that process about it being a long shot?
Sorry,
What did
what
What did you learn from that process that will help you the next time you pick a pattern to pick the right size? What was it?
nothing.
Oh, really? It's a shame. You have to make it and then remake it.
Well, what happened was, is I used the size that, because this is a gift. So my sister-in-law is about my size. So I was like, I'll make it my size. And I followed what they said would fit my size, but it was just too big. Even on me, it was too big. And my gauge was right and everything. So I'm not sure where that disconnect was, but I made it one size smaller and it's perfect.
Huh.
Weird.
Same thing with this. I don't know. I didn't figure out anything that I could do differently next time. So
Gosh.
it happens. So
Yeah.
What's the yarn for your lacy top? It's such a pretty color.
oh, this is the
Is it Sonata?
yes. Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
So
Yep.
nice.
And it's so soft.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised I'm actually sitting with it and it's comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I thought I'd be sitting hot and I'm not. So
Awesome.
yeah. Yeah.
It's that blend of cotton, silk,
Yeah.
and a little bamboo, I think.
There's actually like a striping effect on it. There's like
Mhm.
there's a little bit of white striping that goes along
Hmm.
in it. I know that's just the nature of the dyeing process and all that. So that just makes it fine.
Cool.
I'm not upset or anything by that. I did find, while this is not a glass of wine pattern, this was a pattern that I was able to figure out my mistakes in
Mm.
Oh,
and fix them. It's a 24 row repeat.
Wow.
But I was able to figure out how to, like if I screwed up a yarn over, I was able to go down and pick up where I needed the yarn over and come back up again.
Okay, that is next level. I'm gonna just applaud you on that because fixing lace
I'm pretty
is
proud of myself.
very proud. Round of applause.
Yay.
Great job, Teresa.
Thank you.
Teresa, what is the name of that pattern?
Good question. I did bring up my patterns when I came up to my craft room. I usually sit down in front of the TV downstairs, even though I have a TV in my craft room. It is called the Monterey Tea.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, the Monterey Tea. It was done. It's by Kate Osborne. She's from Kelborn Knits. It's an interweave pattern.
Oh, thank you.
Kelborn Woolens. She's one of the owners of Kelborn Woolens. And they used the Fiberco Luma in this. So it's a little this one's a little more like, I would say a little more elegant in its look. But
Yours is elegant and a beautiful color.
thank you.
Very soft looking.
Yes.
I took a class with Deborah Newton at Vogue Knitting Live last year. One of the things she recommends is get a sweater that you have that you like the way it fits you and measure all of those different parts. Like one of the things she said is like the measurement here and the measurement here, and not just by your bust.
Right.
Because you've got all these other parts of your body that have to be fitted. So it was really great. She had like a little chart, and we broke into groups of 3, and like one person measured a person and the third person wrote down the measurements. And as I was doing Sea Haven, I was looking at that as I was considering what size I was going to knit and whether I needed to. Somebody was talking about jumping from one size to another. Iris, was it you about some sweater you were making where you jumped? You said
the
I had
Sea
to.
Haven. Yeah. The Sea Haven. Yep. Yes. so
I'll have to
important,
keep
the
that
whole sizing thing.
Yeah, I have to keep that in mind. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, Iris, a big kudos to you for Sunday's presentation on the fiber-side crawl. You were amazing, girl. You were the star of the night. Beautiful job.
Great
Well,
job.
thank you very much. I appreciate that. I always, self-critical and all that, and think about.
This was fabulous.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's definitely not as not having Kristen there was different, and I think having my fearless leader with me made it a little less pressure the previous year, but whatever. I was like, okay, it's just 15 minutes of my life, and I mean, what I could talk about the store for hours. Like, why was I so nervous? But anyway, yeah, thank you.
I'll bet we have a lot more people joining on our knit-alongs.
Oh, that's sweet. I hope so. Yeah, it was good, and I definitely
You
had
did
some
great.
inquiries from folks and seeing some sales come in. So that was great.
Good.
But when I started to see the number of participants creeping up and up and up, I was like, oh my God, there's almost 300 people on this call. Ah!
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, good exposure. It's great. And, hopefully it just gets people connected. If they come to Maine, maybe they'll stop by the shop. Yeah.
So I have to,
Bev, what do you have here? Let's
I
see
have
this.
to, bugger out early because I'm helping with another Zoom. So this is a scarf I started in, like a couple 100 years ago. And I'm now down to the this is you guys, your experience. So forget the wine. You can drink the really hard stuff with this one. So I'm at the part of my 1 row repeat. And this is my confidence builder. But I gotta tell you, it's been way too hot to work on this thing.
Oh,
I hate
yeah.
sweating out the yarn, So, but it's going well. And I have the stuff, and I have cast on for the Symmetries cowl by
Alice Dunn Smith.
Yes, thank you. So I saw one in the shop. I bought some yarn, and then I had to order needles. Those have come, so I have just cast on for that. But again, I just didn't want to sweat all over the yarn, so hopefully it'll get better soon. But
The symmetry cowl is such a good one for learning and becoming comfortable with cables. So that'll be great.
I love the look of cables, so I'm looking forward to it. So
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you picked up your scarf, and happy that you're back at it.
Oh, me too. Me too.
We've missed you. I'm glad you're back with us.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, well, I will say goodbye to you, dear ladies, if I can figure out how to.
Down at the bottom of your screen, if you look at the bottom of your screen, hopefully there's a little red button that looks like hanging up the phone.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe that was something. Okay, I need to work on this technology stuff.
See you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, see you guys.
Take care, and thank you guys.
Bye, Bev.
Bye-bye.
Well, let's see. Anybody else have a little update they want to share?
I will.
Awesome.
I'm still working on my Sea Haven. I'm down to
Great.
one sleeve left to do, so it's getting there.
Nice.
But I was looking for something in one of my knitting bags. I knew it was in one of my knitting bags, and what I discovered was a whole nother project that was in one of my knitting bags that I haven't seen in a couple of years. So I pulled that out. And I've been working on that. It's the Seven Sisters top.
Ooh. Oh.
And it's done
I
with
don't
the
know that pattern.
printed organic cotton that I'm using. And it's the color is Dusty Miller, and it looks just like a Dusty Miller plant. The colors in it.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty, I like
And
that.
super pretty.
It's super soft, and this is definitely a glass of wine project that you work
Mm.
on, because it's just basic knit, and I'm working on decreasing and making the shoulders now. So I've got things on hold, but I found it and I was excited about it, and I'm like taking a break from my Sea Haven. I've only got the one sleeve to do. That'll happen easily, and so
Mhm.
I'm working on this for a little bit, just to do a little something different in between.
Mix it up a little bit. Yes,
Yep.
totally. So good. Wow. Let's see. Anybody else want to share? Mona? I'll just pin you. Yep, and I'll pin you so everybody can see. What you working on?
Well, since this is my first time joining this group, I am working on this shawl right here. It's the
Oh, lovely.
Pretty.
Aquiel shawl by Marie Green, or Olive Knits, and I think she did it as a knit along maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half. And I've put it down several times, and then I finally decided I was having a challenge with the yarn that I had first selected. I was having to rip it out quite a bit, and it wasn't working. So I changed yarn. I probably was using a non-superwash, and it was real sticky, and it just wasn't working for me at all. And these little stitches here, the shell stitch,
Yeah.
I'm not very good at that, and that's what I was having a challenge with, because you cast on extra stitches and then you have to take them out the next row so your stitch count doesn't change. And I really had a big learning curve with those. And in fact, I just finished one today, and I had to put it aside for a couple times because I just wasn't getting it right. And you have to do like you add an extra stitch, and then on the next row you do some double purling, and you have to flip the first 3 so that it lays nice, and then you purl one, and then I think I've got it down because I have only one more set of stitches to do. So so the next meeting is in 2 weeks.
It's in 2 weeks. Yep.
I might have it done then. But
It's really pretty. I like that yarn too.
Yeah, it's not, I think Marie's, she had a bit more of a contrast than I do, but I like the coloring of this. So so that's good. And you next week, or so, and then I of course, how many projects have I gotten to do? Well, let's see. A mystery knit along sock with Stephen West.
Yeah.
There's that. Socks are small. They don't take any time, right? And then I signed up for I think it's called the Sweet Tomato Knit Along, one of Kat Bourdain's.
Yeah, the sweet tomato is a type of heel, right?
Right. Yeah, I think so. I've not done it, and it sounds like it's a bottom up, and I've never done that, and it's a top. I've always done top down, and sounds like we can learn how to do 2 at a time, which will be a really good expression from, a good learning for me. And then I have the shawl for the fiber side.
Yeah, the summer crawl shawl. What is it called?
Summer crawl. Summer. It's an interesting name.
Yeah, it's like
here. Sun shower happy hour.
Sun shower happy hour. Right.
Yeah. So and what I was getting ready for this Zoom, I'm always probably other people are like this, other knitters, people just in general. I have such a fear of missing out, but I'm missing out on finished projects. It just came to me when I was changing clothes. I thought, well, yeah, I'm missing out on that. So, anyways,
I was watching Mona. I was looking at the Stephen West because I'm not doing the knit along. I drew the line for myself. But I was watching his video where he walks you through that first clue for the current sock along. And wow, that's exciting and surprising way to start a sock. Holy cow. But I
holy
mean, we should
cow.
never be we shouldn't be surprised. But I mean, for anybody who hasn't ever done it, I feel like the way that West Knits does the surprise sock along each summer, it's so cool. I definitely want to make space for that next summer. And he literally gives you like an hour-long recording of every single technique that you would run into. So it's such a great teaching model. And I mean, then you're like, Stephen, what is happening here? And I was like, all right, I'm going to speed up to the end here just to see what the heck I'm looking at.
It's really fun. I mean, I've never done any patterns by him. So I'm real excited. Oh, I've got one more. Wait a minute. I signed up for this one too. It is called Chain of Hearts Shorties. And the yarn is by Ancient Arts in Canada.
Oh,
And
look at that.
So I figured they're short. It shouldn't take that long, but this is what I tend to do.
That would
And
take me
it's
6 months.
yeah, well, it'll probably take me 6 months. But nonetheless, I guess I was feeling a little flush in the checking account, so I'm gonna stop now. So because I really, Eris, I really like what the pattern that you sent, or the forms that you sent out. Those are really, really clever.
Like
So-
the project planner, or
Yes, very much so.
Oh.
And so far the emails I've gotten. So I'm glad I joined this. So
Nice.
thank you very much for doing this.
Aw, thanks. I'm so glad. And I do think it's encouraging to get back to those projects. I love, Gwen saying like, well, I reached into this project and found something I forgot about because I've had that too. And then I'm like, oh, you again. Maybe I'll just push you back in the back of the closet. But anyway. So any other updates?
I can
Anybody?
share.
Okay, Teresa, yeah.
So I've got 4 projects going on, but the one I'm focused on right now is this blanket for my husband, anniversary gift for our anniversary, which was last week. So it's definitely got to be the top priority. He knew like months in advance that this was going to be late, but trying to get that done. I love how cables look. I don't love doing them. So I'm kind of rotating between projects to keep myself sane. Then I guess I can share another one of my projects, which is I've got 2 shawls and a sweater going on as well. And one of the shawls is this funky
cool.
Stephen West shawl,
Mm.
part of the Stephen West yarn along. So second of 3 shawls for that. So that
Stephen
one's
West
fun.
is awfully angular on everything he does, isn't he?
I
Beautiful.
love that. And was that yarn from a kit from him, or?
Yeah, so the yarn along, the whole thing is like you get a box of yarn for each month, 3 months that correspond with the pattern.
Wow.
And so that's been very fun. Pricey because it's shipped from Amsterdam, but it's what I spent some of my bonus money on, because I decided, you know what, that'll just make me happy for 3 months to get a box of yarn and a shawl pattern to go with.
I love that. Oh, so good. Well, thank you for that update. And can I just ask, how's your progress on your Kate Davies mystery knit along?
I've made like a little bit of progress since the last meeting, like a few more rows, like 10 more rows. So
Yeah. It's
Going
a little slow
steady.
going. Yeah, steady. Hmm. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for that updates. Anybody else want to weigh in?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I can just do an update. So I finished the top. So
Yes, I saw that.
so there's I think she's Danish. I stumbled onto her a couple years ago. She does a knit along during the Tour de France, and she usually like lets out a pattern. It's usually like some kind of summer top. Well, that was from last year's, and I hadn't finished it it was for my daughter. So I got that finished like the start of this year's tour, and then I started on my top for this year, which has been interesting. So I'm on. This is the bottom, and I'm like doing on a really tiny needle because I'm like, okay, the bottom's supposed to be big. So first of all, it was a tubular cast on, which I have never done before. That was a hot mess. So I had it on this like 47-inch needle, and it was just I got the cast on pretty much done, and then I started doing it, and like I got like maybe an inch or so, and I was like looking at it, and I saw this mistake, and the way the bottom goes, because it's got this like weird little scallop where you're pulling up on, I was like, nah, there's no way I can fix this. So I felt like the needle, the cable length was like really messing me up. So I started all over. This time I did the tubular cast on with waist yarn.
Okay.
Much easier
Yeah.
than just doing it straight on. And then I've been using it on a little one, so that's why it's all like, I'm hoping that when I go get done with the bottom and go to the regular size needle, that it'll all look fine. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. And then I haven't sent it. I did. I had gotten Red Heart had made this yarn that you don't have, that makes its own granny squares.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now it's a very basic granny square, and it's only one size. But I'm like, they were really wild colors, and I have a couple of grandnieces. I'm like, you know what? Let me just pick up a couple skeins and like see what this is. So I did a little top for my one grandniece, and I was freehanding it. Once I got the squares done, like how I constructed the top, I was just making it up. So I have no idea. I don't have the child's measurements. She's 2 years old. I'm like just crossing my fingers that it'll fit. If it's a little bit big, then I'll tell my nephew that, just save it for another year. But it's interesting because I went on a trip and I thought, well, this would be really easy to portable to take on the trip. But I didn't know from what I read, like the gauge wise between hooks. So I did one at home before I went on the trip. So I knew what hooks to bring with me. And it was interesting because I had to switch to a smaller hook for the last round around so that I wouldn't run out of that color. But anyway, it was interesting. And then, so I got that done. So I'm working on this, and then I have this top that I finished it up about a year ago, summer top, and I really liked it. And I wore it like a couple of times, and the yarn just grew. So it ended up being like huge. So I ripped it all out, and I'm re-knitting it in a smaller size. And so I'm slowly that's one of the projects I'm working on. And then I have a pair of socks. I thought to myself, let me try 2 at a time, because then I'll get them done faster. No, it's a year. I'm not even, they're cuffed down. I'm not even to the heel. I mean, I'm not going to pull them out. I'm just going to persevere through, but I don't think I'm made for 2 at a time.
I mean, could you just go like take one off and just deal with one at a time from here?
You know, I hadn't thought about that. I probably could like scooch it off because I feel like to get it started, I started them separately and then scooched them on, you know, to the magic loop.
Mhm.
So I probably could figure out a way to do it that way. Maybe that would make me good idea. Maybe that'll.
You know, like psychologically, I feel like we have to sort of take care of ourselves psychologically sometimes. Like, I don't know. That just happened with my Kate Davies mystery shawl. I had to go in a different track because psychologically I was like really not happy with the way that second clue was going. And it was just kind of taking a toll on my just happiness with the project. But, you know, if it could be as easy as like, hey, I could, you know, decide to just knit one sock at a time and then I'd feel like I was flying again. Like that
Yeah.
might be enough to give you the motivation to feel like you could
That's
finish
true.
it.
I'm going to take a look at them when I get home tonight.
Anybody else? Let's see. Was it Judy? Did you want to hop on with an update? Nice to see you, by the way.
Finally made it.
Hey.
I did have a nice time in Oregon, though, visiting my family.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it's it's sort of, I call it the West Coast Maine, where my family is.
Oh, nice.
I'm finishing up 4 socks. I sort of got them
Okay.
to the toe, and I decided I would do the toes all at one time, and the Kirchner, whatever that thing is called. And so this is one. Wait, let me get it up here.
Ooh.
Oh, great.
Wait, put it back up. That was
This
too
is-
fast. Too fast. No. Go back to the first sock. We
Sorry.
want to admire it a little more. Yeah.
That's cool.
What's the yarn, Judy?
Don't ask me right now.
Okay. Self-striping though,
Looks like
yes.
one of those Sochmeyer. Is that the name
I
of
have
the?
no trouble getting onto this. I'm just thankful I got on because I was having trouble. And-
Oh, that's
Ooh.
pretty.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna like these better because it's a finer yarn and softer.
Uh-huh.
So, we'll see, but I decided just, you know, I did each sock separately up till the toe. And then I'm just struggling through the toes right now.
Yep.
And actually put little markers.
Mm. Mhm.
Okay, this is section 3,
Nice.
1, and 2. I did that with the sweater as well because there was so much routine stuff. And then I'm watching television. I wasn't exactly paying attention to exactly where I was. So I decided that was the solution.
Nice.
So,
Oh, well, that looks
hang
so you
along.
said you had three socks?
Pardon?
What did you say you had 3
I
socks?
have a total of 4, and I'll
Oh.
just do I have 2 pair.
Gotcha.
And, so I think, and then I have some yarn from the cashmere goat bill, so I'm ready for Socktober in October.
Woo!
Going to happen.
Awesome. Yeah, we definitely are already starting to talk about fall plans for programming, and that's on the docket, although we may have a little twist in mind this year.
Uh-huh.
Keep these things interesting.
Keep us on our toes.
Oh, on your toes with October. Oh, I might have to make a note of that, Pat. That's a good one. Well, I talked a little bit about my mystery shawl, which the next clue came out and it's something really different again. So anyway, it's what it is. I'm still in it for the ride. I did something different in the center part of clue 2. I like what I did. I might need to try blocking it to see if I might need to make a slight tweak to the final finishing of it, but it's just a very unusual shawl. That's all I can say. And Kristen has also been doing it, and a few of our local goats too. And it just, I don't know. I feel like there's maybe not a lot of cohesion going on.
I can't wait to see
Anyway.
the finished product.
Well, we'll see. I'm sort of in a place where I might need to just schedule some breaks for myself so that I don't feel too discouraged. So anyway, there's that. And I'm cruising along on my this is my TV or wine project knitting with this.
Nice.
Ready?
Yeah, summer top. It's called the Soho top.
You need to spotlight yourself so we can see it.
Oh, right. Silly me. I'm, spotlighting everybody else.
There you go.
Right. Thank you. So yeah, it's by the designer is called Kaidri, and I made the mistake of not trusting the designer, and I made my straps a little long, and then once I could try it on, I was like, oh, she was actually right all along. So I figure I'll just go back and I'll, do a little snip, and it's just a few stitches, and then basically there's going to be I-cord to be picked up to finish these garter stitch edges too eventually. But it's in the monochrome cotton, which I really enjoy working with and love it. So will I have it done by the end of the summer? I don't know. But anyway, it's been good. And then remember how I've been talking about my new yarn crush, the Millstone Tweed, which is the new fall yarn by Barocco. Actually talk about in the podcast that I just recorded yesterday and uploaded, so you could see me talk about it again there too. But it is just this really nice, soft, new tweedy Aran weight yarn, new for fall, brand new to Barocco. So when you look it up on Ravelry, there's like nothing there yet. But to reward myself for making it through the Fiberside crawl, I decided to buy a ball of yarn and do a swatch for the sweater I've been thinking about with this. So I have a swatch, and it's just so nice to work with. It would be beautiful as a Ramona. And let's see, here's where I started with 9s. That was definitely too small. And then I went up to, 8s was too small. Then 9 is, I think, where it's at for me with the gauges both in just stockinette and then in the pattern a little bit. And it's right and left crosses, so not like full on cabling. So a little bit hard to see in the swatch. You kind of almost have to hold it back a little bit. But typical me, I thought that 9 was the right, Goldilocks size needle, but then just for kicks, I had to go on to a 10 just to really be sure. And I was almost immediately this is way too floppy. But here, maybe this got on Instagram. Maybe you saw that I experimented with the Icelandic bind off, which I'd never tried. And I think it's going to be my new go-to for garter stitch bind off. So that's the Icelandic bind off edge right here. And you can see this was my just traditional, the V's, standard bind off. And it almost has that same fold over effect that you would get if you were doing, when you do provisional, what's the bind off I'm looking for? It's the
Tubular?
Tubular, yes. When you have the tubular bind off, it just makes such, the hem just looks like it just folds right over. And I feel like the texture here, it just reads as garter stitch to me in such a nice way that I think that's going to be something I try to remember for future. Anyway.
Which one was that?
The Icelandic bind off.
Okay.
I think I would have used it in my Sea Haven probably. Fine. Who's looking at your bind off edge? But I think it just looks really nice and neat and tidy. So anyway, nice. That was my exploration, and I'm dying to cast on for this. This is what I want to do for, oh God. What is that? There we go.
Oh, pretty.
Oh, pretty.
Very nice.
Nice.
This is the Irish Rover pullover by Teti Lutza. So we'll see if I can resist casting
using that yarn.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yummy.
Yeah. Yes. And it just feels really, really good in your hands. So, yeah, dreaming of fall.
Yeah.
Where did you find the Icelandic, how to do the Icelandic bind off?
It was I mean, I feel like I was seeing it all over my Instagram feed a couple months ago and I never did it. It just kind of looked cool and kind of filed it away as like, oh, that might be neat sometime. And then for whatever reason, I kind of remembered it. But if you go onto YouTube, there's 1,000,001 different tutorials and it was really pretty easy to do. And it just had such a cool look to it. I was really pleased. So. Oh yeah.
Since I'm doing my Sea Haven, I'm going to put that one in my memory.
Definitely, for sure. So we're a little past 6, so if anybody needs to scamper along, but I wanted to just check in and see, Julia, do you want to give us a progress report, or? I'm gonna unmute you just because I can see you're talking. Let's see, can I unmute you? Oh, I can't unmute you. I guess I can't. I thought I could. I'll pin you. That's what I can do.
How's that?
Yep.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay. I've been fighting with this program to get in. It's why I was so late.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what to say about that. You'll see an email from me.
Okay.
I have been working across several projects, as so many of us are. The one I had targeted for this knit along is the Hug Shot.
Yeah.
And I got through clue 5, which ended right there this last time, and I'm now 5/6 of the way through section 6. So that's progress.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been more fun than I had remembered, so that's good. And the other thing is I have finished this little guy.
Oh,
So cute.
so cute.
And because
So
it was
cute.
suffering from second sleeve issue.
Oh.
Because I don't usually work on 11s and 13s,
Ooh.
but the last time I was in the goat, I had to buy 11s and 13s so I could do this. And I've found it's been a good change of pace for my hands.
Right.
And it did work up fairly quickly. So I think
Julia, is that Rasta? Sorry.
It's Spud and Chloe Outer.
Okay.
Because I stash dived.
Got it.
And I have enough yarn left over that I'm going to put it with a really heavy Malabrigo and do orange and green stripes on another one for fall baby.
That is great.
So those are the most active things, along with some stuff that I don't have right in here with me, along with this, which is a Ratha shawl that I started last year.
Ooh.
And I now have 43 rows to go.
Oh, yay.
So close.
Getting
So I
close.
hope it will be done by the next time you see me.
Yay.
Awesome. That is great. Well, I'm glad you found us. Glad you joined us. I will definitely read your email. We're just kind of testing the waters with this Google Meet, but I'm sorry you had some frustration.
Well, I'll follow up with what I figured out after I sent the email too.
Okay.
Because that it may or may not be useful, but at least I'll share.
I love it. Love it. Definitely. Well, all right. Here we have.
Did have one finished.
Oh, yes.
Well, finished as in I finally wove in the ends.
All right.
Very good.
Let me pin you. Yay. Oh, the shift.
It's a shift.
It's the shift.
Awesome.
So
pretty.
Love the colors.
Nice.
Yeah.
They weren't exactly what I thought they were going to be. You know, when you look at the ball, it looks a little different. But as a friend of mine would say, better than good, it's done.
It's done. Yeah, I love
And
it.
it's very pretty.
It is very
Right?
pretty.
Oh, I love
Now
it.
you have to have some cool weather to wear it.
Yeah. Wasn't your husband working on the shift, Iris?
Oh, he is. Yep, he is. His progress is very slow. So he just putters along on it.
Yeah, but didn't
He rows at a
Did you make one for him? Was he the one that was wearing the shift early on?
So that actually, so Kristen's husband kind of stole hers
Okay,
at
that's what it
home.
was.
But my husband started wearing mine a lot this year, and I was finally like, you could knit yourself a shift. Just you've knit hats for a while, you could knit it for yourself. So it's definitely been some new techniques for him. And I picked up a skein of yarn at the New York Sheep and Wool that I brought back for him, that I was like, I think this should be part of his shift. And so then I helped him build a little palette around that skein. So I'll bring it for a show and tell maybe next time.
Great.
Well, it's been so fun to catch up with everybody. Thanks for being here. And we'll be meeting up again in 2 weeks. So that's July 24th. So much wisdom here. Lots of little quotes I jotted down. So don't be surprised if you see a little something in the next email that comes out. I do have to say that I think, Mona, your quote about, you have a fear of missing out, but what you're missing out on is finished products. That was really good.
Yep. Like that a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a great evening, everybody, and see you in a few weeks.
Okay, see you
Thank
next week,
you.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Happy
Take
knitting.
care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.